alongside my colleagues, Ms. Sandra Modise, Ms. Nyarai Gondo, and Mr. Moumakwa. Today we'll be exploring the financial performances of Cresta Marakanelo Ltd from 2020 and 2021. Our presentation layout will start with introduction, background, financial statements analysis, key financial ratios, market analysis, conclusions, then recommendations. The purpose of this report is to provide a comprehensive analysis of Cresta Marakanelo, deriving from financial reports for the years 2020 and 2021. It will be done by assessing its financial statements, consisting of income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. We will also explore key aspects of the company's financial performance, also assess its weaknesses and strengths. The analysis will also allow us to make actionable recommendations. Cresta Marakanelo Ltd was established in 1987, and it is a public limited company which specializes in travel and tourism industry. The company is listed in Botswana Stock Exchange with a share price of 103 as of 28 September. It also operates in 11 properties, comprising both owned and leased establishments, and offering a range of services to local and international travelers. Cresta Marakanelo services include hotels, restaurants, bars, guided safari adventures, and many more. In 2020, Cresta Marakanelo comprised of 978 staff, while in 2021 it had 873 staff, as shown in the table below. The company contributes to the economy of the country by creating employment for the locals and also offering cross-cultural exchange, according to Dube 2021. Regionally, Botswana contributes to the tourism sector significantly, according to Botswana Tourism Report. Globally, the hospitality and tourism industry has drastically developed over the years and is deemed one of the most significant economic activities in numerous countries, according to the Show Me 2023. I will give my colleague Sandra Modise to give you a presentation on financial statements analysis. Thank you.
Thank you, Lizibo. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sandra Modise. I'll be giving an analysis on the financial performance of the Cresta Marakanelo company. We'll be discussing the income statement of the company, the cash flow, and the income statement for the year 2020 and 2021 financial years for Cresta Marakanelo. Income statement shows that the revenue growth was at 12%, and it was on a positive side as it was recovering from the impact of COVID-19. So the company made a significant increase in terms of the revenue. And then the company experienced a loss of 12% instead of profit. The 12% shows that the company, even though it was 12%, it moved from 52.9 in 2020 to 60.1 in 2021. So that shift, which is 12%, shows that it was slowly recovering, though it was still under the negative side of the loss instead of profit. And then the income statement, as you can see them in different colors. Our revenue there, which is the first two bars, shows that there was an increase from the orange bar, which shows the 2020, and then the red bar shows that it's 2021. So that difference, it shows that there was an improvement in terms of revenue. And then the gross was, as I said, it was at the negative side, which shows that is below zero. There was loss, but then it was slowly recovering from 60 million to 52 million in 2020. And then our balance sheet shows that our total assets declined from 527.84 million to 522 million in 2021. This decline in assets could be attributed to the suspension of capital expenditures and the depreciation of existing assets. Our total liabilities for the company as we assessed them showed that there was a 6.2 increase from 375 million ULA in 2020 to 399 million in 2021. This liability was attributed to the 30 million which was used for Cresta Marakanelo renovations. And then the equity dropped by 25% from 164 million in 2020 to 123 million in 2021. There is a working capital of 25 million which was injected by Botswana Development Corporation. We all know that BDC is the mother company for Cresta Marakanelo. So it injected a 25 million loan so that the company can recover in terms of working capital for the business. These are our graphs as shown for the balance sheet. And then the cash flow analysis, it shows that in 2020 we had 5.8 million, and then in 2021 we moved by 480% to 33.776 million. This cash generation shows that the company is slowly recovering, as we mentioned that the revenue increased by 3%. And then the investing activities shows that they reduced from 70.7 million to 6.1 in 2020. And then the financing activities also reduced from 13.3 million in 2020 to, they could have reduced from 18.2 million in 2020 to 13.5 million in 2021. This is a 34% reduction, which was primarily due to that loan that we talked about from BDC. And then the financial ratios indicate in our report are on liquidity and solvency. Financial ratios are used by investors to be able to know the financial status of the company so that they be able to make informed decisions in terms of whether to invest in the company or not. So our financial ratios are on current ratio and quick ratio, which measure the liquidity of the company. The liquidity of the company shows the ability of the company to be able to meet its financial short-term obligations. And then the solvency ratio shows that the ability of the company to be able to meet its long-term obligations. Our ratios are as follows. Our current ratio moved from 1.14 in 2020 to 0.85 in 2021. And then our quick ratio was at 1.11 in 2020 to 0.82 in 2021. Our debt to equity ratio was 1.17 in 2020, and then it was at 1.71 in 2021. Our debt to asset ratio was 0.37 in 2020, and then it moved to 0.40 in 2021. This debt to asset ratio shows that it's less than 1, and it means that the company has more assets than debts. Our current ratio of 0.85 means that the group does not have enough cash to be able to cover its short-term obligations. It means that the company also has more debts times is not able to run its operations well. And then our asset ratio of 0.82 shows that the company isn't financial difficulty. And then our debt to equity ratio of 1.71 shows that in the year 2021, the board did not declare any dividends for the stakeholders. And then our debt to asset ratio, which is at 1, which is less than 1, shows that the company has more assets, as I said earlier. The next diagram shows the financial ratios that we've been talking about, that presented in a line chart. Thank you very much. the next presenter will talk about the market analysis and SWOT analysis. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gokwadilwe Moumakwa. I'll be taking you through market analysis of Cresta Marakanelo. To start with, to analyze Cresta Marakanelo market, I'll be using two tools to analyze that market. First one is quarters 5 forces. The second one is SWOT analysis. Here are the factors that may influence the market of Cresta Marakanelo. New entrants, competition rival, threat of substitute, and supplier power and buying power. New entrants. The Cresta Group market has been under constant pressure because of new competition, new competitors entering Botswana's industry, particularly in Gaborone, according to Charles 2017. Competition rivalry. Factors that may influence competitive rivalry are market growth, number of competitors, product differentiation, and large number of rivals can result in more heated competition. The second tool is SWOT analysis. Strength. The company showed revenue growth and improved profitability. COVID allowed for reassessment of priorities, especially restructuring and many others. Brand prices across Botswana, therefore not highly affected by seasonality. Coming to weaknesses, rise in debt level and decrease in current ratio. High operating costs. The company experienced a weak liquidity position in 2021. Opportunities. There is investment in expansion and renovation of existing properties. For example, Cresta Tapamaloid and Cresta Mahalape Hotel. Improve business feeling after COVID-19 restrictions eased. Threats. COVID-19 and increased competition putting pressure on pricing and occupancies. Airbnb and similar models remain a huge threat in hospitality industry, according to Franco and Muneta, 2023. Job exodus after COVID, therefore difficult to retain or attract skilled talent. With that, I'll be giving my colleague to wrap up the...
Thank you and good evening again. I will be taking over by having our recommendations and finally concluding our report. So looking at the recommendations, there was a lot of investigation on what were the effects of COVID-19 on the hospitality industry, particularly hotels and its operations. And from that, a lot of recommendations are available from literature that can be used for hotel owners as well as hotel managers, as referenced in 2020 by Nyarai and others. So negotiating extended debt repayment terms is one of the recommendations that we have, so as to ease up on cash, and coming up with different agreements with lenders. This will increase our liquidity. Then the hotel group can outline more stringent safety and cleaning processes to match the expectations of clients and tourists. my colleague mentioned Airbnb as being one of the major competitors. And one thing that the study that he referenced talks about is that people that like to use hotels prefer it over Airbnb because of its cleanliness as well as its safety. So that's a selling point that can be emphasized and what's it called? It can be something that can be recommended to increase its revenue over time. Then also reviewing the hotel portfolio, we did mention that Cresta Marakanelo is expanding into other companies, and with its expansion, it can exit underperforming locations as well as releasing non-strategic assets. Continuing with our recommendations, we live in a digital age, so increasing their digital marketing capabilities based on data that's available could be a positive that the group can take, and that can influence its customer base, its customer behavior, as well as pricing. And then, looking still at the customer, packages can be created that are more in line with what is needed by people. For example, we did say that Cresta does not just do hotels, it offers many other services. So packages can be created with preferential pricing and with promotions. Those can be recommended to increase its business. Then we did mention, for example, that some of the properties are being refurbished, and with taking into what has happened over COVID-19 and having the time to regroup, the refurbishment programs can be phased, therefore allowing for returns to be phased as well. Then one recommendation that stands out will also be with the influence of the environment and wanting to be green. The Cresta Group can look into more renewable sources of energy, such as solar, and over long term this can reduce the power expensive and can increase its green efficiency, which is a good attraction point for international visitors. Then we did also mention that Cresta lost over 100 people, staff members, skilled staff members. So Cresta can also look at developing a strategic workforce plan to retain who are there, as well as to train, as well as to recruit more skilled labor. Then in conclusion, my colleagues and I have talked about the financial analysis from 2020 to 21, showing the impact of COVID-19, not just on Cresta, but as the hospitality industry as a whole, looking at significant declines in profitability as well as liquidity. Globally, we also looked at how travel decreased as there were various factors such as closures of borders, movement of people being restricted, travel bans, etc. And then, still on globally, the hotels recorded a deteriorating financial performance. So Cresta is listed, the report just emphasizes what was happening throughout the world. Still on conclusion, we can see that there was a recovery as restrictions decreased, and there's room for further improvement. With this, it's a positive, and it only speaks to the possible growth that will still come with Cresta. And then we also noted that there was a lot of pressure on the cash reserves. The company is not as liquid as it could be, and therefore certain operations and service debts and investments could be affected in the future. Then looking at the brand and the geographical footprint provided for base for growth, there's still a lot of high costs that are involved, and a lot of these costs can still be cut or looked at so as to recover from the effects of COVID-19. Then lastly, the company is still quite restricted, which I think my colleague mentioned. We were just talking about the financials, and this is, so leases and loans can also be looked at because the company, the group cannot fulfill its financial obligations if it remains at the state that it was in 2021. And with that, please, if there's anyone who has any questions, feel free to ask. My group members can come forward.
Okay, I have two questions. Based on your recommendations, do you think Cresta Marakanelo will bounce back from its losses as of 2021 case?
Fortunately, the Cresta Group has released its financials for 2022, and they've made a significant increase. So with that, I would definitely recommend that. I would recommend that it would bounce back. It is bouncing back. Globally, tourism has completely restructured and is growing. And with that, I would say that it has the potential to only increase.
Yes, and to add on to what you said with the supporting figures, the 2020 financial statement shows that there was a 64% increase in terms of revenue for the company, and then there was profit increase of 148 after tax. So yes, the company is slowly recovering and will be going back to its usual financial status that we know, or even better. Thank you.
And what are the market challenges do you think Cresta Marakanelo is facing?
Yeah, there are a number of factors. One is new competitors entering the market, higher operating costs, and weak liquidity that the company experienced in 2021, as we have said earlier.
Okay. So, any other questions?
Okay, maybe one more.
Okay.
In what ways do you think Cresta Marakanelo contribute to the economy of the country, and what are the socio-economic benefits it provides to the local community?
Well, Cresta Marakanelo contributes significantly to the country's economy by creating employment for the locals and also by fostering cultural exchange. So this involvement in the local community enhances economic and social well-being, making it one of the biggest players in the industry. Thank you. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you.